What's up, YouTube fam?
What's up, YouTube fam? You guys are watching the London Mix YouTube channel.
What's up, YouTube fam? How are you guys doing today? Clint Lund with London Mix. Back today, guys, with finally another video. I mean, you guys have been savages on Instagram. Follow me at London Mix on Instagram if you guys aren't keeping up to speed with what's going on. So, I've had a real busy month. I haven't had a second to pick up the camera. And guys, I know you guys have just been chomping at the bit to see where I'm at with the worst bike on Craigslist. And guys, today we have, as of today, we have about 90% of the parts, which means we could start assembly on this thing. I know what you're thinking. 90%? That's not enough. I know. Well, the other 10 is I need to figure out rims and tire, or I already know I'm running Dunlops, but I cannot use these rims. I was going to just get them repowder coated, but there's things like that that are preventing me from getting that thing powder coated. And also I can't use the front hub because of the different front suspension, but the rear wheel will work. But let me show you, let me get you up to speed, guys. We got it all powder coated. Now I am giving a little bit away here, but that's okay because, you know, I like doing this. This subframe, guys, is one of the most awesome colors ever. It's called Lollipop Purple. It's by Prismatic Powders. It's insane. And unfortunately, when it's all together, you're not going to be able to see the purple very much. So a lot of you guys are already starting to dislike the video because you don't like the purple. Hang on a second. I got the linkage done as well. That's all Bobby Benson. Thank you so much, Bobby Benson. Big homie of the channel. Appreciate him so much. Frame done by Powder Coater Unknown. I'll put his little dingly-doo right here for Instagram. And also Bobby Benson's. Check these guys out. If you need any power work done and you're in California, I highly recommend these guys. Their attention to detail is just so awesome. Of course, our bottom end's all done. Swing arm's all done. Guys, we are ready to start assembly on this. However, this is the newer style subframe to obviously adapt over to our 2000 YZ250 frame. Now, I have watched a couple videos on how some people, their interpretation of how you should do this. And honestly, when I watched it, it scared the crud out of me. So, having said that, now that I am staring at this now for a couple days, trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do, I'll show you what I've ran into and how we're going to remedy this. So, first and foremost, this is the issue up top. We're about, I think I counted 4, was it 4 or 6? I think it's 6 millimeters actually. Well, let me get back up my calipers here. I believe we're 6 mil. Let me see. And get it 0, okay. So this circumference of the frame stay is, we're looking at 61.5, say. If I could probably tighten that up a little bit more, but yeah, still 61.5. Okay, so that's going to be our gap there. Flip the calipers over, and in the new, sorry about that, in the new subframe, we're looking at, get this thing square here. Problem, right? So 5430. So even my last number was off there. So 5430 is a subframe, and again, we're looking at 61. I got that time. Make sure I'm measuring the right spot. Yeah, 61. So we need to remove some metal from this thing, and some of the other videos I've seen on YouTube about guys who have done similar conversions in this manner, they grind away the subframe, which I'll tell you right now, if you guys are going to do this, don't do that. The welds on these tubes, I mean, they're right up to the edge on these, and even if you take, say, like 4 mil out of here, and then, you know, I wouldn't even take 4 mil out of that one either. These welds are gonna get so thin to the point where I'm almost convinced that this subframe would snap with a good seat balance or a good landing, you know, and that would totally just wreck this thing. So I'm gonna take from up here, the top steel mount. We got quite a big shoulder over here that we can take from. We can take a little bit from here too, but as you guys can see, she's a little bit more in line with this side than that side. So I have a feeling I can just cut over on this a little bit and then call that one good. The other thing is, so after I get that all marked up and cut, is the other issue. So your boy London Max jumped the gun a little bit, and I went ahead and got all the frame powder coated and subframe powder coated, and every video I've seen, boys just, you know, cut the welds off here, shift this mount up, and then you're able to, boom, you know what I mean? So now that I've powder coated it, I mean, I certainly can come in and cut this off and you know, put it back up, weld it, and then I can probably come over with some gloss black, touch it up, and you never know the difference because we have frame guards, right? Frame guards are going to mount here, and you're not going to even see anything at all. Herein lies another problem. These frame guards are for a 2000 YZ250, and as of right now, the bolt holes line up for 2000 YZ250. So, meaning that I would have to drill another hole up here, which would be no bueno, because then I would have a bolt sticking out that would rub my boot. And these ones, as you can see, are countersink for this. So, I know a lot of you are saying, hey, why don't you just get the 02 to 04 YZ250, you know, plates, the frame guard, excuse me, and call it a day. Well, it's not that easy either. I wish it was. So what I have to do is I have to build on top of this a little plate mount that, you know, we're able to box this thing in, make sure it's nice and stiff. But before I do that, I have to get this up here cut so I can slide the subframe forward and fully see what kind, because my gap's going to change here obviously when I slide this thing over there, right? Yeah, so that's what I'm up to today. I need to get this thing fully fabbed, and then after I do that, I need to do a test fit to make sure that all, you know, our tank and our seat and everything, they're all gonna gel, because if they don't, well, we're gonna have a problem. And of course I have to run the O2 plus seat, which I don't have, but I will get. But at any route, I figure it'll be close enough, being that this is the O2 plus subframe, and then I do have it mounted over here. This is the only spot where I've read on several forums and on videos that you do start by mounting this, because that's true for the pipe angle, the yaw, the pitch, and all that stuff like that. That's where you want to start, is by mounting that. And this aligns, you know, perfectly, right, with that mount. It's just a little too tall. So like I said, we're going to start by slicing some material out of this, slide this thing forward, put the mounting bolt through it, and then we can see exactly what we need to do on this mount. So let's get going. All right, got you guys mounted up there so you can see what happens. I'm going to take my calipers. Let's see what kind of discrepancy I have here. It's showing, oh, it'd be nice to have it on. Yeah, about a 9mm discrepancy. So let's set this thing a little shy of 9, because I could always remove more material if I need to. So I'll go 8.7. Use my calipers and make a little mark with the sharp tip on it, like that. And I should be able to make a nice cut that's not going to affect the welds and allow the subframe to pinch into here. And we're not going to tax any of the welds on the subframe. All that will still be very, very stout, as it's needing to be. So I'm going to give my safety squints. Any AVE fans out there will know to engage your safety squints. Because I'm using a cutting disc, I'm going to be using a face shield, because these things can mess you up. I'm gonna go to the other side. Come on. That's why they call them death wheels, guys. No good. But we made large majority of our cut here. That's why they call them death wheels, because they're scary. Very scary. Now that I got a good starting cut, I think I'll finish it with the Sawzall, because this is a lot less life-threatening. As you guys could see, that wheel was catching, the grinding wheel was catching every time I tried to go back into it. I was trying to slap my fresh paint job, which is NFG, so gonna go down, prepare for vibration. Boom, baby! Was that shaky to you guys? I bite it whiz. Alright, so I went a little shy. Let's see here. Oh! Boys! I think we took just the right amount. Let's put a bolt through this thing. Right, I got the bolt ready for insertion here. Let's see. Get that thing in there. It's a little tight, boys. Tell it wasn't meant for this frame, but it's pretty close. Pretty close. Oh, let's see. Dang. I think your boy knows what he's doing a little bit, sometimes, a couple days of the week. This day of the week, I think we are gold. I think that fits perfect. All right. I am happy with that. Could definitely say that that's safe. Yeah, so you guys are doing this. You know, obviously, do your own research, do your own diligence with, you know, metallurgy and mechanics and angles and pitch and yaw and hue and everything like that. But with this, as far as what I'm doing, I did not remove any metal from the subframe, keeping that nice and strong. Literally, all we removed, where's my little chunk? I kind of like to see how close I was to on my cut. I'm glad I actually allowed myself a little bit, because I forgot that the subframe needs a pinch just a little bit. I mean, just a little bit, so every time you hit it, you don't have to spread these, you know, to get it over. You want it to fit. But anyways, that's on. Sweet! Better idea of the kind of angulars we need to make for this thing. So, now seeing this, sorry, I'm not showing you guys. Now seeing this, gosh, man. the best would have been totally just to cut this off the frame and slide her up. That would have been the way to go with that. But I do not want to ruin my paint, so I need to ponder this for a moment. We could build off the top of this, where I would have to just knock off the powder coat around the top here and then build 2 plates that come up right here off the main frame up and over, and then box it at the back. Basically, we're copying this mount, extending it up, boom, boom, you know what I mean? So that's an option. I was thinking I could also find a plate just as big as this, put it inside here, and then weld 2 plates on it, so it's like just a slide-in mount. But when I got to thinking about that, anytime the swing arm or a subframe would compress, that mount would twist forward like that. So that's not going to work. I mean, this is pretty thin. I thought this was thicker, but this is pretty thin. I think my best bet, honestly, guys, is going to be to build off the top of this up to about here, so you guys can see it's, you know, I don't know, about like that, and then box it at the back. I'm still gonna ruin some powder coating, obviously, because I have to grind down so I can weld it. Bummer, but at the same time, it's kind of what I have to do to preserve this build, make it look nice, meanwhile not cutting any corners. So actually, after walking around for a while and pondering this, I actually think I have a really good idea. I think it would be absolutely perfect to just go buy a plate of steel. They sell them at my local hardware store. A plate of steel that's similar diameter, and then bend it so it goes out, around, back over, and I'll use this as a reference of how, you know, how tight to bend the radius on the plate. And then I come in here, you know, take off this paint, zippy zappy, put the bolt in, perfect, right? And then it also allows me to run the lower bolt for the doobly-doo, for the skid plate, so, or the frame guard, geez. So I think that's going to be my best option. Have a little plate, sandwich plate that comes around like this, tack it all over here. So let's go get that. All right, guys, so on my way over here to the hardware store, I thought I'd take a moment to just explain myself, because I know a lot of you guys have been hitting me up diligently on Instagram, like I said, and you guys are always just like, hey, just making sure everything's good. Thank you guys so much for reaching out. Like, everything is really good. I've had an excellent time, little vacation with the fam, and wasn't so much a vacation with the fam as much as it was just some time to get away and do something else. As you guys can imagine, just going dirt bike out of control every single day of my life. Everything that I live, do, breathe, touch is all dirt bike. So it's nice to do something else for once, go out and spend some time with the family, my extended family and stuff like that. And so it was really nice. So having said that, now it's time to get back to business, start pumping out these videos again, and get this YZ250, the worst bike on Craigslist. Get it done, guys. It's about freaking time. So having said that, I must admit, I may have bit off a little bit more than I can chew with this YZ, because after I started going through and emailing sponsors and talking with them and getting some things dialed in, it like the waterfall of what I'm really doing to this thing hit me hard too. I mean, mostly because every piece of this bike is completely unsalvageable. So I'm talking everything. You know, our suspension was garbage. The motor was garbage. The frame, thank God the frame isn't rusted through or cracked. So it's like frame, swing arm, and that's like you know, and the bottom end cases are all we're using from the 2000 YZ250. Everything else is brand new stuff. So it takes time, and I hope you guys can appreciate and understand this, but it takes time to acquire all these things, especially, you know, I'm paying for a lot of this out of my pocket, so I had to find suspension for the thing, and triple S suspension is what I want to put on it. And triple S suspension, even on eBay, the cheapest set, needing work, seals are blown, blah 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 blah, but the tubes are in good shape, we're still over 400 bucks. The rear shock, the triple S rear shock, also same gig, you could find them for about $275. So that alone, guys, was quite a big chunk, you know, to chew up financially. It's all right though, because this bike's gonna be amazing. So to prove it, we're gonna go to the hardware store real quick. I'm gonna stop gabbing because I know how much you guys love the sweet talk, right? But we're gonna head over, get this piece of metal, and then I think you'll start to see my idea come to fruition here. But then we'll head back to the shop garage or whatever, we'll get this plate mounted in, and I'll show you guys the parts that we have. It's going to blow your mind, and it's happening today on this episode, guys. We are going through and we are looking at what we're putting on this pig, and I am so excited, guys. This bike is going to be one in a million. I can't think of any others that are like it, similar to it. This is definitely going to be one of its own. So this is really exciting for me. So let's go. Also, did you know, London Mech's channel, 50% of our viewers are non-subscribers. So if you kind of dig what you're seeing today, you like the content and what the kind of projects I work on, click that subscribe button, like it if you are enjoying what you're seeing, and also tick that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date when all my new videos drop. And if you guys get bored and you want some sleepy time views, go back in my history, check out some of the projects I've done in the past, check out some of the awesome builds, the funny videos, the race videos, whatever helps you make it to sleep at night, you know, or start off your day. Either way, check us out. I appreciate you guys. Let's get over to the hardware shop. All right, guys. So this is what I was thinking. Big old plate of just this mild steel. So I'm thinking I can cut this, you know, at an angle so it meets the frame correctly, ticky-tacky, and then start to kind of walk it around. When I hit my edge, I'll tack it there, bend it, put the make sure the subframe's wrapped in there nicely, heat it, bend it around. It's the idea of as of now anyway. We'll see, but it's nice and thick. It's definitely thicker than the steel that's on it now. It's gonna have to be, so let's go do it. This is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. To illuminate for you guys here what I'm doing here. So I just cut this piece. We're gonna ticky-tacky it to the frame like that, right? Zip, and then I'll bend this around the back. Then basically duplicate the same point over, you know, in the front here. But that should work. Hit it with some gloss black, grind it smooth, and hope to God this works. For those of who are sensitive to graphic content or squeamish to butchery yet modification for the better, please avert your eyes or enjoy the show.
bolts are welded in, had it drilled. Now the paint is drying. Check it out afterwards, put a bolt through it and see how good it came out. But I can tell you right now, it looks pretty good. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, she's in. So I'll give you there's some shavings over here still. I apologizes. So, nut and bolt straight through. And then, yeah, she's welded. So, the whole theory here, guys, was when you push down on the subframe, it needs to have vertical support as well as front and back. So, this is fully boxed in now, wrapped around. I have good clearances on each side of those, welded on both sides. I kind of wish I would have closed this gap, like made a little piece and welded it, but that would have taken way more time than like seriously would matter, because now with our doobly-doos, our frame guards, we can mount those on. You can see the subframe bolt back there, and I could still use that bolt to mount these. So I mean, come on, you won't even be able to tell, guys. You won't be able to tell. You won't even be able to see it, that the back of that's got a little opening to it. These frame guards are going to be on. So, I don't think it's going to really matter, honestly, guys. And it's just a little notch. And like I said, I could have like cut a little piece, a little pie piece, and just welded it in there, and then gone in with the flapper disc and made it all smooth. But it would just be strictly visual. It wouldn't have anything to do with how it functions. And besides, I was able to get good temperature, get in and weld and lay that bead all the way through, and I got good penetration on the weld, so I know it's solid. I know now we can go send it on this thing and she's not going to snap. It's going to be working great. So hooray! A little shot of the backside. Sorry about, there's some shavings. Unfortunately, I painted it, and then I cut off this bolt because I had one that was just a little too long and I wanted it to be flush. So some of the shavings got on the semi-dry paint. I'm gonna have to sand that off and come back and redo it. But yeah, again, nice seam weld all the way across, and it's gonna hold. It's gonna hold the pressure, guys. So I'm stoked. Now we can really get to the assembly, you know. All right, boys and girls. Now that that's all done, now it's time to show you guys the stuff that I promised you months ago about. I mean months ago about. Guys, I am so freaking excited to show you guys this. So let's freaking go. So what is in these two boxes is going to completely change everything that you guys thought was going to be the YZ250 worst bike on Craigslist. This is changing it in a huge way. And these two companies, guys, they work together to make this happen. And I can't thank either one of them enough. So let's get into it, guys. First and foremost, we are no longer a 250. Guys, this is Eddie Sanders Racing 325 cylinder. You heard me right. Let me get this out. 325. Boys and girls, just look at this beautiful, beautiful piece of mechanical engineering. This thing, seriously, guys, is going to change everything about this bike. And I'm so excited. Thank you to Nick. Thank you to Eddie over there at ESR. You guys are amazing. I cannot wait to get this thing on there. But to work in conjunction with the ESR, the guys over at Smart Carb had contacted me, and they have built me a special 38mm SC2 Smart Carb. Now, guys, if you do not know about these Smart Carb, they are amazing pieces of tech for your dirt bike. And let's be honest, that finish, that billet finish, no vent hoses anywhere. Come on. And you can use your stock throttle cable. You don't have to use a special throttle cable for this. But let me tell you a little bit about this thing, because it's pretty freaking rad. So this Smart Carb, they seriously went in and did some heavy research and development. Not to mention that this thing was CNC'd at like a world-class machine shop. Guys that do work for like Apple and DoD supplier, like they're really, really good. So all the tolerances in this thing are very, very tight. It uses a metering rod style needle, as you can see there. Okay. But I mean, it's so critical how they've machined this thing to maximize the signal air velocity and focus the delivery of the air right out the rod. And it's really, really crazy, man. The metering rod is responsible for the extreme like fine tuning and fuel atomization of the carburetor, right? So having said that, it's improved atomization means that there's more burnable surface area at the fuel droplets, you know what I mean? So it's the molecules in the mix. This thing is just a gnarly piece of tech that they went in and specifically designed this thing to burn every ounce of fuel coming from this thing at its highest efficiency. This is probably the closest to fuel injection you can get out of a carburetor. It's really, really, really amazing. So what it means is more complete combustion, right? Better use of fuel, so that means more power, using less than 10% less fuel. Yeah, I think I said that wrong. It's actually kind of like 30% better fuel economy. And they guarantee it too. They stand behind it, which is, I mean, it's hard to find any company these days to stand behind a product, let alone some sort of tech like this. I mean, this is like something that, you know, there's going to be a lot of guys really putting its feet to the fire and testing it, and we're certainly going to do that paired with our ESR 325 kit. But these guys got together on this package, guys, and Nick, I was doing with two very nice Nicks in between the two companies, but you know, they're calling back and forth to each other, trying to get it set up so we're running pump fuel, and this, you can definitely do this with either one of the companies, guys. You can call Eddie Sanders Racing and have them build you a cylinder specifically to the fuel that you're running, and the premix that you're running, and the ratio that you're running. And then same thing with Smart Carb. You can hit them up, tell them what you want, and if you guys want a carb that seriously is only tuned from this screw right here externally, you just click this, and they give you a full instructional sheet. They give you a test sheet. They give you all your base settings. Like they map out this carburetor for you completely, guys. It's really, really impressive. You're seeing this right now, and you're kind of wondering like what that is, because that's different than, say, like your normal carburetor, right? So this thing is crazy how it's internally vented. The scoop right here, or the port here at the top, the venturi bell, it vents the airflow inside from your airbox into the fuel bowl, right? And then that drives the fuel proportional to, you know, its air density, and its velocity. That's how the SC really compensates for any density factors. Now, this is how it gets away with being a single circuit rod only design. Alright guys, I'm going to read you just some info about this Smart Carb. And believe me, I've read through this booklet a couple times. And I mean, this thing is really an amazing piece of tech. But this Smart Carb SC is a single circuit, that's what the SC stands for, designed with no jets at all. It's only a metering rod all the time, guys. No power jet needed. It's internally vented. The scoop, or the port, in there at the top of the venturi, bell vents the airflow inside the airbox into the float bowl that drives the flow proportional to its air density and its velocity. That's how the SC compensates for any air density factors, and that's how it gets away with being a single circuit rod only design. Some of you guys are going to be asking about the throttle position sensor. So if you look here, there's two mounts right there. All the Smart Carbs, like this one here, are TPS capable. There's a little magnet inside that's on the throttle slide, and the two bosses on the back of the carb accept like any solid state linear magnetic position sensor. So that works with any 3D ignition mapping, aftermarket CDI mapping, and beta oil injection too, guys. So they thought of everything to really make this work for any bike, and I can't wait to get it strapped up with that ESR 325, guys. And I need to show you something else about that 325. Like I said, with ESR being in communication with Nick over there, we had this thing set up because I want to run pump gas. I don't want to have to be worrying about going back and forth and finding race gas. So this is what they do for you guys. When you get a custom head cut, and I mean custom head, like this thing is bad to the bone. So right away it says up on the top, it says pump. Not only that, so if you guys at any point want to change it out, come on, try and do this one-handed. But you could pop this dome out, and you could just swap out for a race gas dome. Like, or get different squish, different, you know, he seriously has so many different types of caps that you could put in here that, like I said, they will go for 100 to 110 race gas. I'm sure you could do something crazy with ethanol, which that would be kind of fun to do. But I mean, it snaps in just like that, O-ring sealed, and look at that's our 325 kit with that smart carb. This thing, guys, is going to be absolutely insane with that fresh bottom end, all brand new wrench rabbit kit going in that thing, swing arm bearings. I can't even wait to get started, guys. Like, I'm so pumped up. Thank you again to Eddie Sanders Racing. Check them out, guys, online, Eddie Sanders Racing. They make these 325 kits for YZ250s. They make all kinds of big bore stuff for TRX 250Rs. I mean, you have to go check. Like, he seriously does a lot of really cool work. Guys, get over to Smart Carb and check them out on Instagram too. I know that they're on Instagram. So is Eddie Sanders Racing. Get on Instagram. You'll see me plugging them in on my Instagram, so you guys get connected. Get your hands on a smart carb, guys. It will change the way that your bike runs 100%. If you never want to have to mess around with your carburetor, changing jets for elevation, or even just battling a constantly muddy carburetor, get a hold of Smart Carb. Get you one of these things, guys. They're absolutely amazing. And same thing too. You want some more power? You think that, you know, 250 is just a little gutless, and maybe you're thinking about a 450? Well, hey, look no further. Get a hold of Eddie Sanders. Get this 325 kit, and I will definitely talk more soon about his killer. And I mean, this thing is like amazing. His power valve that he made up, it's proprietary to his design, and this thing is all absolutely awesome. But when we get to installing this, I'll talk more about that in a future video. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up. I mean, at least I just wanted to get a hold of the YouTube fam, let them know I'm not dead, not dying. I'm back at work, back grinding on the worst bike on Craigslist, and you guys can tell it's gonna be far from the worst of anything by the time we're done with this. And guys, I'm extremely stoked that that subframe is all welded up, mounted up, and it looks great. It really does. I do want to go back and do a little sanding and get that that paint just a little bit better, get some of the metal flakes out of there. I was just in such a hurry. I was loving it way too much. But like I said, guys, if you're not subscribed, please do. Like the video if you love where this thing's going, and I know you guys gotta love where this thing's going. And the whole theme, it'll come together with the plastic, the purple, the black, and these little blue accents. This thing's just gonna look like an anodized bomb. It's gonna be so sick. Anyways, guys, I love every single one of you. Check me out on Instagram. Keep up to the news with everything. Keep up on the buzz that's going up with the build. Follow me there. Anyways, guys, I love every single one of you. I will talk to you guys very, very soon. That's a promise. Peace out.